I think because the way the CBA is structured right now, we can't participate in equity. And that's a big deal because, you know, it is a partnership with ownership. It's a partnership with the league. And we're on the short term of that revenue, right? Like, those numbers sound crazy, but what the league is doing from whatever area you want to compare it to now is probably, 10x that. So
the WNBA appeared to have moved past the foul, the ejection, and the wave of social media controversy that followed. Then Steph Curry's name was suddenly brought into the discussion, making the situation feel much larger than anyone expected. DiJonai Carrington's hard fall on Sophie Cunningham had already sparked intense reactions, with fans carefully reviewing every replay and analyzing every possible angle. But the real controversy began after the whistle. That's when the story took an unexpected turn, transforming a physical play into a debate that continues to dominate conversations with no sign of fading anytime soon.
Again, Stephanie White has made comments on the fact that she did not back her own players after the DiJonai Carrington clothesline from hell incident the other day, in which she came out and said, "Oh, DiJonai's she's not a dirty player. She just plays real hard. Blah, 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 blah." I mean, look, she turns into the Charlie.
The WNBA finds itself in an unusual situation, and the irony surrounding the league has little to do with wins, losses, or the standings. The season's biggest talking point wasn't created by a game-winning shot or a team securing a playoff spot. Instead, the moment that captured the most attention came from something entirely different, highlighting just how unexpected the conversation around women's basketball has become.
DiJonai Carrington was ejected from the game against the Indiana Fever for a little scuffle with Sophie Cunningham. And my analysis is, at least we know the refs work. Hey, we've been asking this whole time for the refs to do something. They did something today. That's funny how, when the condition change, now the refs want to activate. Everybody want to get active. Listen, Sophie will be all right. She's strong. And DiJonai is already in the locker room on threads.
The moment that defined the season wasn't just the foul itself. It was the chain reaction that followed. A hard hit led to a strong response, and that response eventually drew the attention of one of basketball's most respected figures. When Steph Curry, a player who has spent nearly 20 years battling through some of the league's toughest defenders, decided to comment on the way Sophie Cunningham had been treated on the court, he did far more than simply join an ongoing discussion. His involvement elevated the situation, turning an already heated debate into an even bigger story that quickly gained attention across the basketball world.
Play the game in a way that you want to play.
If the game hadn't moved out of the paint and gotten more on the perimeter, there'd be a lot of people playing like Shaq.
Because I was like, I think Steph Curry made the WNBA watchable.
Caitlin Clark, baby.
The way that Caitlin Clark was playing was a very digestible form of basketball. But now this girl out of nowhere is playing like Steph, and it was still digestible.
Steph Curry's comments transformed what had once been viewed as a league-specific dispute into a much broader discussion. What started as a disagreement over a physical play quickly evolved into a nationwide debate about sportsmanship, the responsibility to protect star players, and the limits of acceptable physicality in professional basketball. To understand why Curry's remarks had such a powerful impact, it's necessary to revisit the incident that set everything in motion.
52 cards in a deck, and WNBA players and their fans stay playing that race card. Mistaking star power for racial prejudice is not only counterproductive, but extremely pathetic. DiJonai Carrington committed a hard foul at Sophie Cunningham and was correctly ejected from the game, but then decided the best thing to do for her cause is to run to the locker room and tweet out white privilege. I'm sorry, this isn't about race like some love to make it all about. It's about status. It's not white.
During a matchup against the Chicago Sky, DiJonai Carrington made contact with Sophie Cunningham near the neck, leading officials to review the play and eventually upgrade the call to a flagrant foul. The incident occurred at an especially difficult moment for Cunningham, who had just been poked in the eye and was still trying to recover. What followed is what transformed the play from a routine fall into one of the season's biggest storylines. Instead of backing away, Cunningham immediately confronted Carrington, and the situation quickly escalated. Suddenly, the discussion extended far beyond a single play and reignited an ongoing debate among fans about how some of the league's biggest and most recognizable stars are treated during games. That's why Curry's criticism carried so much weight. When he described the incident as one of the most cowardly acts he had witnessed on a basketball court in decades, his comments reflected the perspective of someone with extensive experience in a highly physical sport. His point was straightforward. There's a clear difference between aggressive but legitimate basketball plays, such as challenging a shot or battling through a screen, and striking a player across the neck when their focus is directed elsewhere.
You told me about this.
Yeah, so the thing that like really caught my eye is she put on like Twitter something like white privilege.
She can do that?
So she pulled
in the WNBA?
She pulled the race card. My whole thing is that's a dirty play. They need to make an example because they don't want.
According to Curry, the period in which he developed as a player was widely regarded as one of the most physically intense eras in NBA history. Even in that environment, there was an unwritten rule. You confronted your opponent directly. You didn't take advantage of a moment when a player's back was turned or when they were caught off guard. In Curry's view, that's the line that separates tough, competitive basketball from plays that become unnecessarily dangerous. He believed Carrington's foul on Cunningham crossed that line. What intensified the controversy wasn't just the contact itself, but everything that followed. Instead of the conversation ending with the foul, attention shifted toward the reaction afterward. Curry argued that elite athletes earn respect by accepting responsibility when they make mistakes, while avoiding accountability often leads to even greater criticism. It's also important to note that Carrington later addressed the incident herself and offered a more balanced perspective. She acknowledged that the foul was hard, maintained that she didn't think it was intentional, and admitted that the officials were probably justified in upgrading the call to a flagrant foul.
You know, there's flagrant twos in basketball in the WNBA. This is a totally fine reaction, I think, to a play like that. And maybe the story ends there if Carrington doesn't go to the locker room, pick up her phone, and tweet white privilege, which is insane. An absolutely insane thing to say. Now, if you go watch other networks, I'm not going to say it on Fox, but ESPN's filled with absolute morons. Absolutely have a panel of...
Curry's concern extended far beyond a single foul. He argued that if dangerous plays against star players aren't addressed consistently, the league risks encouraging the wrong behavior and undermining the values of skill, preparation, and sportsmanship. He also highlighted the pressure that comes with being one of the league's most recognizable players, where every moment is heavily scrutinized and every hard foul quickly becomes a major story. As the WNBA continues to grow, the debate has shifted toward a larger question. How should the league protect its top talent while preserving the physical, competitive nature of the game? Meanwhile, Cunningham has avoided fueling the controversy publicly, choosing instead to focus on basketball and let her performance speak for itself. That contrast has kept the discussion alive and raised broader questions about the league's future and its responsibility to protect the players driving its success.